One's ready. One's ready. Go!
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. This is your daily drop for the 7th of April, brought to you by Barbell Apparel. Head over to barbellapparel.com. Check out any of their stretchy jeans, chinos, joggers, anything pants, dress pants, shorts, graphic tees, workout shorts, workout joggers. They've got these Havoc polos and the ultralight Havoc polos that I absolutely love. It is their 11th anniversary and they have buy two, get one free on select items. You can mismatch and all that kind of good stuff, and you'll get your lowest price item for free. The sale goes on until the 28th of April. So find yourself over there, barbellapparel.com. Let them know we sent you at your checkout. Select that you heard about them from One's Ready. And if we're not there, hit other, type us in. That way they know we sent you. Okay. If you're new here, this is the news that Air Force Public Affairs Office curates and sends out to every commander and every chief in the Air Force, and it covers joint news, Air Force, Space Force, and then some kind of opinion pieces. But again, this is all curated from Public Affairs, and if you know who Public Affairs is, we tend to have a problematic relationship with them. We actually have no issue with Public Affairs other than the fact that they have an issue with us. They can't stand us, so that must mean we're doing something right. So, on to joint news. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth will visit Panama to discuss U.S. control of the Panama Canal amid Trump's demands, meeting officials at a security conference. The Panamanian president denied Chinese influence over the canal. I think we all know that is a bunch of BS. Of course, there is Chinese control over it. Maybe not control over it, but definitely influence, because they've been trying to influence their way across the entire world. Why wouldn't they do the Panama Canal? We should have never given it up when we did. That was idiotic. I'm pretty sure it was old Jimmy Carter that did that. So thanks a lot for that. That was a miss. Next, the missile defense. Ooh, boy, I'm still working that cough. Man, I swear it's allergies here in Vegas. All right. The Missile Defense Agency opened the Golden Dome project to commercial firms, hosting an April conference in Huntsville to advance hypersonic and ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, interception. It revives Reagan-era Star Wars concepts. We actually talked to Dan Holloway about this. The episode hadn't released yet, but we talked about some of the Reagan-era Star Wars things in that episode. So when that releases, I think on Wednesday, make sure you check that out. Next, the Naval Academy purged 400 books, including Holocaust works and Maya Angelou's memoir, from its library under Trump's DEI orders. The Navy used keyword searches to identify 900 titles for review. Okay, so if you're new here, you didn't hear it before, but if you have been listening to us for a while, I have said this numerous times. Some civilians, contractors, or active duty members are just they're pulling up the document, whether it's a PDF or a Word or whatever, and they're saying, Control F, find, looking for certain words, and then instead of actually reviewing it and going like, hey, maybe, Maya Angelou's memoir is probably a good piece of literature to keep in our curriculum, they're just saying, oh, delete, boom. And so it's malicious, not malicious content, but, oh man, what's the word? And of course I'm by myself, so Aaron or Trent can't save me. Malicious compliance. That's exactly what it is, and it's bullshit. That is not what Trump, or even if it were Biden, that is not what they intended, okay? That is malicious compliance, and that's what they're doing, without a doubt. I used to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, it's just negligence, they're just trying to get through it quick. No. At this point, we've already found malicious compliance within our active duty members and our DoD, and this just proves it even more so. Next, Secretary of Defense ordered a review of military fitness and grooming standards, pushing for sex-neutral combat tests and revisiting beard policies. He aims to unify standards across the genders and combat roles. So we talked about this last week in terms of combat arms, professions, special operations, making the standard equal to all, regardless of your gender. I don't think we need to cover that anymore. The beard stuff, though, it is pretty wild to see everything that's going on with beards, right? And this is coming from somebody who I actually think that all of the DoD should have beards. I see why we don't, so I can actually play both sides of it, and there's good points and good reasoning for each side of it. However, I wish we'd have beards. But with that said, if you are a military member and you need or want to have a beard, you have to apply for an ETP, which is an exception to policy. And usually that is for some kind of medical condition. You know, if you shave and you get bumps or sores on your neck or your face from it, or if you have some kind of religious accommodation, you know, you're saying you're a Jedi, you're saying you're a Nordic Viking or something like that, to which your religion has to allow you to have a beard. So that's how they're getting around it. You know as well as I do that there are a bunch of liars out there. Now, it's also saying that there are people that are legit for sure. So I'm not taking away from that. But you can't tell me that some of these people that you see out here aren't completely full of crap when it comes to the reasoning they have a beard. They have it because they want to have a beard and they want to be different. So that's the reality of it, whether you like it or not. All right. Air Force specific news. One F-35 squadron at RAF Lakenheath out in the United Kingdom is fully operational with a second nearing readiness by fall. That is awesome. Enjoy your time out there, peeps. It's a great assignment, great location. Enjoy it. Don't take it for granted and make sure you travel. Next, the OA-1K Skyraider 2 joined AFSOC at Hurlburt Field, praised by Lieutenant General Michael Conley for its versatility in modern warfare. It's set to replace older aircraft like the U-28. So I actually got a chance to look at this thing while I was here at Aviation Nation at the air show, and we are hopefully having some of the pilots come on the show, but they have to clear it through Air Force Special Operations Command's Public Affairs, which again, they don't like us. Their lead civilian is very upset with me because I called General Bauerfein fat because he is fat, but she's still mad at me, which sucks. Hey, please reach out to me. You have my phone number. If you're upset with me, let's just touch base. I've always liked you. I don't understand why you're this upset with me about it. But anyway, hopefully we get to talk to one of them. If not, right now you can expect the OA-1K. Ordnance wise, it'll have 14 APKWS, which is a laser guided 2.75 rockets. It'll have 4 Hellfires. It'll have 2 sensors, an MX-15 and an MX-20 ball. Time on station is 6 to 7 hours, depending on the distance to the objective and other things like terrain, elevation, altitude, temperature, loadout, all that kind of stuff. And it's capable of taking off and landing in 1,000 feet, and that's a conservative number, on prepared, semi-prepared, and grass strips. Semi-prepared would be, you know, your dirt strips and stuff like that, or even highways, really. I mean, that's kind of a prepared, but it's also can be a semi-prepared surface. So, yeah, again, I'm critical of it, just not critical of it in particular. I question its true operational capabilities. And at the same time, I also question the $2 billion that AFSOC spent on developing it. So that's just me. I'm as I age and as I've retired, I'm becoming more and more of a cynic. So next, the Air Force Academy Superintendent, Lieutenant General Toby Bauerfein, the one that I called fat, plan to cut over 100 civilian faculty has sparked concerns about academic offerings. It aligns with Secretary of Defense push for more uniformed instructors. Now, this is actually one thing that I went back and forth on, and I can see their point of view from both sides. So civilians and contractors play a very important role in the success of the DoD, whether it's in learning institutions or operational, because they provide subject matter expertise. They provide continuity as green suiters leave. And you've got some serious talent at the academies that are civilians that were retired general officers or retired colonels or retired enlisted folks that have a lot to give and they still want to give back, but we're going to cut them because we want more active duty instructors. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't just do a salami slice, like peanut butter spread. We're cutting a bunch of people, it can't work like that. So I don't know, or maybe it can, and maybe I'm just an idiot. Help me understand. All right, next. Sophia Pinheiro, a 17-year-old at Ramstein Air Base, won the 2025 Air Force Military Child of the Year, awarded for leadership and resilience. She'll use her $10,000 scholarship for college. Awesome. Congrats to you, Sophia. The Air Force reversed a ban on preferred pronouns in communications, complying with a court order in the 2023 NDAA. Okay, well, I guess we're reverting back to that, and then you can expect in the next NDAA, it'll get reversed. So I don't know why you need to use your pronouns in an email signature block, but whatever. Next, Space Force news. The Space Force's first capstone doctrine, the Space Force, defines it as a warfighter entity focused on space superiority. General Trent Saltzman emphasized Guardians as warfighters in its forward. Cool. The Space Symposium kicks off in Colorado Springs, expecting 10,000 attendees despite a DoD travel ban. General Trent Saltzman and General Stephen Whiting will speak at the event. 10,000 attendees during a travel ban. I'm not for a travel ban, and I think that there is some goodness that comes from these symposiums. However, looking at the optics of it, maybe not great, Space Force. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Or maybe you just go, well, got it. Copy, there's a ban, but we're being smart about this, and it makes sense to us. And as a commander and a 4-star commander, I'm making the call, and we're actually going to do it. So maybe he's got balls there, and he's taking some command and some ownership. I can see it both ways. There's a lot of that this news cycle. SpaceX, ULA, and Blue Origin won a $13.7 billion Space Force launch contract through 2029, with SpaceX leading at $5.9 billion. Rock on. Like outsourcing. NASA's a great entity, and it's done some fantastic things. And hopefully, Jared Isaacman ends up being the next director of not Space Force, of NASA. But like integrating these private sectors, this is huge, and it's important. Next, the Space Force plans to convert Johnston's Atoll Bird Refuge into a SpaceX rocket site, raising environmental concerns. Efforts are underway to mitigate impacts on 1.5 million birds. I don't know anything about this. I wonder if there was not a different place they could have done this, or how far these birds are actually, how far away are these birds from the rocket site? Like, I don't know. I know that we're limited on space. Hey, guess what? Nevada has a ton of space you can use. Hence, we're setting up a spaceport here in just about south of Vegas here pretty soon. So looking forward to that. Lots of jobs coming. It's space race, baby. All right. These are of interest. Representative Republican Don Bacon. I don't know. It just says R, so I don't know if that's Republican or representative. And Democrats condemn General Timothy Hawes' firing, citing his strong leadership in cyber operation. Activist Laura Loomer claimed credit, alleging disloyalty to Trump. Don't care. Democrats warn that firing Haw weakens U.S. cyber defenses amid rising threats like China's Salt Typhoon attack. Trump's moves also target CISAs, CISA election security role. Man, dude, people get fired all the time, man. I don't know what to tell you, Dims. Like, if the roles were reversed, I guarantee you wouldn't be saying shit if it was Biden or Harris or somebody like that. It's just because it's Trump. Let's see. The UK and US tested a hypersonic missile engine at NASA's Langley, hailed as milestone by Defense Minister John Healey. It strengthens NATO collaboration on advanced tech. Good. They're probably our strongest allies, as well as France and that kind of stuff. And as strain and as much shit as I give the UK, I still want us to be successful, and I still want us to have a strong partnership. But to that police commissioner, come find me, come at me. Extradite me, please, please. When I come to the UK, please arrest me, you little shit. All right. Analysts noted the Houthis' resilience despite U.S. airstrikes with intact command and missile capabilities. Experts like Michael Knights liken them to tough and ideological fighters. Okay. They're still a terrorist organization. They're going to get wiped the fuck out if we actually take the gloves off. Maybe we don't need to take the gloves off, and maybe we won't actually commit to it. I'm not saying I want a GWAT 2.0. However, GWAT was super fun. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Next, Lockheed Martin faces Wall Street scrutiny after losing NGAD and Navy fighter bids. Though its F-35 and F-22 programs remain robust, analysts question its 6th-gen future. Man, that was a big hit to Lockheed. That, like, without a doubt, for you to lose that bid, it's not great. That's for sure. And I bet I'm not surprised that the shareholders and Wall Street are going, "Hey, WTF, Lockheed." So I don't know. Maybe you'll get I'm sure you've got something in the works. You're not a company that's that big and that successful and don't have something else in the works. That looks like that's it for today. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to visit us on onesready.com. Get yourself a piece of merch, and truly thank you for everything that you guys do for us. Commenting, emailing, messaging, liking, subscribing, notification bells, leave us a review, buying merch, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for being there for us, and we will continue to try and be there for you. Out here.